All right. So, in today's video, I'm just going recenter myself. Going to briefly kind of talk about and go over the basic events of what transpired on January 30th. So first off, there was a school walkout at Johnson High School and a few other high schools, and there was a general economic strike. So the walkout at Johnson started around 11:45-ish and ended around 2:30. Um, I will also be showing intermittent clips of the protest and the march itself in between pictures of me talking, so it's at least somewhat visually interesting for you guys. Normally, I would have curated some sort of uh, visuals via Microsoft Paint or whatever, but I needed to get this video out because y'all have already waited well more than long enough. So, aside from some APs following us till we got off of the school grounds, the beginning of the protest was pretty uneventful. There was one guy who threw water at some people. That guy's an asshole. If you're seeing this, you suck. There's a caravan of people on a red truck later in the video. That was pretty crazy. And yeah, aside from some video, some not video, aside from some guys going around and like flipping people off or going, okay. Um, yeah, there wasn't a ton of people who were like actively showing that they were against us, but there was a lot of people out there honking their horns, giving us stuff. Like there was people passing out snacks and hand warmers. And so yeah, we not only did we come out to show our message, other people came out to support us. And that was really great. I really felt connected to the community, and I feel like the protest was successful, which I know like no policy has changed and ICE are still out there, so it's technically not, done anything. But the fact is, lots of people were protesting across the nation this week, and it brought a lot of eyes to the topic. Whether or not you were, you know, for the cause of the protest, you were against it, or you had no opinion, your eyes were on it and you spent time paying attention to it. Even if you disagree with everything I say in this video, if you think I'm a soy boy or I'm an idiot, you're still spending your time on it. And that's really important, that we're bringing attention to the issue. And who knows, maybe we'll convince a guy or two. Or maybe we can reduce the animosity a little. I know a lot of the people who disagree with me and the other people who support this cause politically, they're kind of coming from a place of either ignorance, anger, fear, or just hate. And I'm not going to lead my life with ignorance and hate. I'm not going to come at people who disagree with me with anger, right? By the way, in the comment sections of the full unedited, uncut video, try to keep things respectful. I know sometimes I can get a little bit like that. I participated in the comment wars between like Jags like for ICE and Jags for Israel. And if you don't really have anything constructive to say and you're not going to be civil, don't comment, right? So I'm going to choose to not come from a place of anger. I hope we can have a civil discussion. Civil discussions are very important to the American dream and the American idea of democracy. So I hope we can move forward in that sort of fashion. And then I want to address three main elephants in the room, you could say, that are kind of brought up either directly or by proxy in the video. So the first being that neither political party represents me. I don't identify as Democrat, Republican, whatever. I think political parties are not smart and a very dangerous idea. I don't think we should have political parties, point blank, period. I don't think either political party represents my values. I don't think either political party has the best interests of the American people at heart. I think both political parties just serve the agenda of the party. Their only purpose is to keep sustaining themselves and keep themselves in power. That is how I view it. And 99% of individual politicians think that same way too. I guarantee you, most politicians, most people in public office do not care about you. They just care about themselves. And overall, this country has a huge accountability issue, especially when it comes to our politicians. And my next elephant I want to address is the claim that I made that ICE is a terrorist organization. So let me paint a picture here for you. So you got masked men in unmarked vehicles, without warrants, either breaking into homes, grabbing people on the street, or running into a public space like a library or a school. That sounds like a terrorist cell. That's pretty terroristic to me, right? I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe I just spitballing here. It's almost like law enforcement should not wear masks, have their face, have a badge, identify themselves, have markings on their vehicles that show that they're law enforcement. Have more than 47 days of training, right? So yeah, ICE are terrorists pretending to be law enforcement. Like, point blank period. And there's literally video of ICE officers, 6 of them, I think it's 6, grabbing Alex Preddy, a dude with a phone, by the way, a suburban white dude with a phone, and they killed him. I'm sorry, if you saw Alex Preddy with a phone and you thought you need to pull out your gun, you should not be in any position of power. In fact, you probably need to be medicated on something. These agents are not trained, they're not disciplined, they're terrorists. And now, if they actually built up cases and profiles and gathered proof of these criminals, because that's what all the Trump apologists will say, they'll be like, oh, but they're going after rapists and gang members. And you know what? Yeah, they're probably catching a few of those. But they're not building cases and they're not building proof. There's no due process, right? So then that entire argument just falls apart because anyone within the jurisdiction of the United States is owed due process and is owed their constitutional rights. Point blank period. That's unnegotiable. So yeah, and now if they operated like an actual law enforcement agency, I would have no quarrels. Build a case, gather proof, give due process. Ride around in marked vehicles and show your face, and have more than 47 days of training. If they acted like that, most people would not care. But they don't. They just go around in unmarked vehicles and snatch people who just have brown skin. They don't really care about the actual origin of the person that they're snatching. They just see someone who doesn't look like me, right? Someone who isn't a crackerjack. They just grab them. Or they kill them, as we saw with Renee Good and Alex Preddy. So third and final point I want to bring up is Trump is a threat to the American people. He's kind of pushed this whole thing, this militarization of ICE, and has really enabled them to be a terrorist agency. They're a terrorist cell, right? He's also cut ties with most of our allies of NATO. He's actively put NATO under threat. We almost got Article 5, by the way, which if you don't know, Article 5 of NATO basically just means if one NATO country is attacked, all of them are under threat, and whoever just attacked that one country is now at war with all the rest of the NATO countries. So if we had invaded Greenland, Denmark would have declared Article 5, and now all of Europe and Canada would be at war with us. As powerful as our military is, and as much as I trust and love our servicemen, we can't fight that war. That's too many people. And Canada has nuclear weapons. So does France. Now, granted, they are our nuclear weapons, but they're in possession of those countries. You see what I'm saying? So going against NATO snuggling up to Vladimir Putin and sending masked terrorists after the American people, Trump is a threat, right? He is actively attacking your rights as an American citizen. And, let's not even worry about his policy. Let's just ignore that for 5 seconds, right? You really want a guy who is all over the Epstein files and was Jeffrey's best friend as your president? To think long and hard about that. That he is complicit and likely participated in child abuse, rape, and human trafficking. Really, just stop and think about that. You want that as your president? And, he's also showing signs of dementia, which I'm not going to get too far into in this video. But, maybe I could do a follow-up. He's showing a mental decline, similar to Biden's. Him and Biden are both dementia patients, which I don't think we should have someone whose brain is literally disintegrating running this country. That just doesn't seem smart. And then, this isn't really an elephant in the room. Actually, it kind of is. I'm normally a comedy channel. I know a lot of my stuff is kind of cringe content, and then some of it, we briefly did some analog horror a couple years ago. That was weird, but it was also kind of cool to work on. It's not so much I'm suddenly political, it's that politics is invading my life. And I can't just sit around and make, dumb jokes all day. It's not the world we're living in. One day, maybe I'll go back to strictly comedy. Just posting funny shit on the internet. But as for right now, I can't do that. I can't in good conscience do that. I know I'm a small platform, but I can't in good conscience use my small platform for not addressing issues like this. And that 2-hour video, I don't expect you to go and watch it. That'd be ridiculous. That's up there primarily so I could go through there and find footage if I needed it, and so y'all have it for public record. Because I think this stuff is important. And this is history being made, right? Whether you're for or against these protests, this is history. Your grandkids are going to learn about this in history class. And they're going to fail. They're going to fail the 2020s unit of AP US history. APUSH is going to be a bitch in about 60 years. But just once again, these events are super important. Please remain civil. And my next adventure will probably be the No Kings protest on March 28th. I'll see all of y'all there. Have a fantastic day. God bless.